Do you know Camille Foster? Have you met Camille yet?
I have, but not really. Like
Okay.
we've like interacted through like online, but not fully.
No, you have to meet Camille in real life for the full experience. But I know he's aware of you. Camille gets in a lot of trouble privately and publicly because he doesn't identify as Black. If you ask him like what he is, he'll tell you his parents are from Jamaica, he's from Washington, D.C., and his name is Camille. But he will not identify as Black out of a principled desire to not reify this fake notion of race that people are obsessed with. And I've never really gone down that route fully with Camille because I agree with the principle on which he bases his decision to not identify as Black, but I feel like it's possible to just say one is Black without buying into all the baggage that word means for other people. What do you think of that? Do you identify as Black? Do you understand where Camille is coming from? Or do you identify as Jamaican? How do you view your own identity?
I do not identify as Black. I never have. And but I am Black, if that makes sense. The thing is that when you're in the US, I don't think it's possible to identify as Black without taking on all the baggage. Once you understand that people have all these perceptions, you can't do it anymore. I actually had a conversation with one of my friends from Jamaica who she migrated here when she was like 15. And she brought it up to me without me saying anything to her, which made me really happy because it validated my feelings that I was having at the time. And she made this comment. She was like, I'm not Black. And the reason why she said that was because she was understanding that the way people in the US use that word is very different from the way people say in Jamaica use it. So that it's like no one would say something like I'm not Black in Jamaica. They would say I'm Black. And there's no issue there. But when you're here, there's a whole different meaning. And so you don't want to identify with that. So I've never identified as being Black, but I would also like I'd probably make a comment like that. And like I wouldn't how do I say that? Like, I'm sure at some point in conversation with people, like I've made comments that I am Black, but been unaware consciously of what that means in the past, the way that I do now. Does that make sense?
No, that makes perfect sense. I mean, I think what you're talking about is that there are two senses of the word Black. One is purely descriptive of your skin color or visible characteristics that mean nothing deeper. And what I hear you saying is that in Jamaica, that's what people mean when they say Black. They don't mean anything. It's not freighted with all of these other assumptions about what you believe and what you've experienced. Whereas in America, many people but Black means something much more than just your skin color. So, but I guess there are two ways to approach that. There's one is to do what you just said and basically accept that Black means what it means in America. It comes with those assumptions, and then reject that label. But I guess my instinct is to encourage the American definition of Black to resemble the Jamaican definition of Black, where it's just a neutral, descriptive term for somebody that need not lead to any other assumptions about what they think or what they've experienced. But it seems like you've sort of. So essentially, what I'm saying is, I would like to identify as the Jamaican version of Black, where it just means nothing more than it needs to mean, and reject the American notion of Black, which means you must think a certain way about politics. You must feel a certain way about the police. There's just a whole laundry list of things one is supposed to assume about the world because of the color of one's skin. Do you not think it's possible to rehabilitate the American term black? Do you think it's a lost cause?
I'm going to say 70% no. Because
70% no, it's not a lost cause?
No, 70% it is a lost cause because people will just keep reviving it. So there are people who really want to have Black pride and to have all those associations with, skin color, with, I like to say phenotype, but it sounds weird. But because it's not just skin color, it's like the hair, it's like everything. Associate that with mental, inner characteristics. There are people who really, really want that, and that's all they know, and that's what they will continue to pass down. They could possibly have less cultural dominance, but I also think that that kind of thinking is very useful for people, I would say, who not necessarily want to sow division, but want to have power. And so the likelihood of it going away or diminishing in importance, even though it might not go away fully, I think is very, very low. So I do think it's possible, but I don't think that people will let it go. Another thing I want to say is I do not agree with it, but I think it's fine for people to want to care a lot about those things and to have pride, etc. But I just don't think it should encompass everyone who just looks a certain way. There has to be a way for people to opt out of that. There doesn't have to be, but I would like for there to be a way for people to opt out of attaching themselves to something that they just never signed up for. I think it's extremely disturbing. There's a sense of ownership that comes over other people that I sense in the US from everybody, just because you look a certain way. I think that is truly, it really disturbs me. It really, really does when you really think about it. So it's not that I don't think people should be able to have those ideas. It's that Black shouldn't equate to, I don't know what you call it, Black pride or Black essentialism. Right? I don't know what the word is. There should be a difference between those two things. But yeah, I'm giving you a percentage.